Hello, team. Welcome to our Pro Mindset podcast, episode 2 with Cortex. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you
Glad
for
to be here.
making time for us.
Anytime. Thank you for
So,
having me.
first things first, your name. Tell us about you.
Gamer tag or okay, so my name is Muchi Kombe. I go by the gamer tag Cortex. Funny story behind that. I explained it on the we had a radio show with DC Talk Radio the other month. So basically, when I was writing my grade 12 exams in 2012, I had how you come out of the exam room.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's, people discussing answers and stuff.
And then your answer is completely different from everybody else's answer.
Except this time it was wrong because I knew the answers. So I was outside there. It was biology. Yeah, it was biology, and I found this guy discussing. It had there was a diagram like the stomach area. We had to label it. So there was this guy that was so adamant telling his friends that he labeled the stomach area the cortex. And I couldn't stop laughing at that because it was so serious. So I couldn't stop laughing about it. I would tell everyone, that guy was so confident and he was telling everyone there's a cortex in the stomach. Then I came back home and I would laugh about it with my friends that there's no cortex in the stomach, guy. And it just stuck. Everyone just started calling me Cortex. So it kind of makes sense. That's how it is. I feel the best gamer tags are the ones your friends give you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even nicknames, like everyone has a funny nickname that their friends gave them because they felt a certain way when they were a child.
Mm-hmm.
It transcends the same way into gaming as well.
I wonder how that guy feels when he sees you today.
I bet he didn't even know because, I laughed at it dude, there's no cortex in the stomach, and that was the
It
one
was in
time.
his face.
Yeah, I didn't laugh really loud in his face. I just told him, "Are you sure?" Because but that was it. The only other people that I made noise to it about were the people I came across afterwards. Because I had a lot of friends I wrote grade 12 with that year. So we had the same answers for the same questions. So I'll tell them, you remember that question? That guy said there was a cortex in the stomach. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting stories. I like it. What has your experience with AI gaming been like so far?
It's been nothing short of good, honestly, because they've given me a platform to express myself more competitively. Because I've always been a competitive player since I started taking fighting games seriously. But joining AI gaming feels more professional. The fighting game or gaming scene in general is still coming up in Zambia, and I feel like having teams with people that are well known in the scene kind of pushes this agenda, make it more serious, more professional going forward. So I was really excited to join AI gaming when my friend told me about this last year, and we've been pushing since, and it's actually been really good representing the team. I did pretty good in some tournaments, so always nice to show that there's some talent, be sort of hope for the upcoming talents, because there's actually younger players that also play these games. They want to be as good as us, so seeing us in a position where we're doing this professionally, they also could also drive them to be better at what they do.
So, if there are any young ones out there listening to you right now, what advice would you give them? Any tips or hints?
No, just keep playing. Know where what you're lacking in. Don't be afraid to ask also, because I feel like even though I'd say LSCon was my favorite tournament last year, because I didn't win, I got second.
Okay.
But I came out like the favorite because all the people were saying, "Yo, you're really good." They were asking me how I got so good, how I play that way, and it was kind of inspiring to me to want to do better, because now you have people looking at you every time you enter a tournament, like, "Yo, this guy did this last time, so you want to top on what you did last time." Mm-hmm. So to those people, I just say, just keep playing. Don't be afraid to ask for advice, because even where I am now, there's people that I look to learn things from. There's people There's people I play with that show me things that I'm lacking that I work on by myself. So it's basically just keep going. It's all I can say to them.
I hear you love to play MK. How long have you been playing MK for? And
Mm,
which one do you
well,
particularly like?
I played oh, like everyone else, I played all the old MKs, Ultimate MKs, and them. But I'd say like taking the game seriously and transcending to a competitive setting would be from. Actually, didn't start with MK.
Okay.
Sorry, because the first fighting game I took seriously was Injustice One. I used to play with my friend Zaza Mulele. He's
Mm-hmm.
on Team Geometrics. He had Injustice One on his Xbox, and then he was the one that introduced me to like the competitive side because like we'll play these games just there's cool characters, everyone loves Batman, Superman, and them all the
Yeah.
superheroes, and then he would come with these cool combos and stuff. And we knew of the internet obviously back then. That was like 2013, 14, about the internet. So we would like go YouTube, check out a few combos and stuff. But like coming down to learning fundamentals, frame data of the games and all that stuff, he was pretty much the one that introduced me to that because he would actually watch tournaments of the professional players in America and them.
So he helped you to transition.
Yeah, I would say that actually. So he would teach me some of the things he would learn, and then when I started looking at stuff by myself, it just became a competition between me and him because he would pick up a new character, I would still be playing Batman, and then see who comes out on top. Tournaments throughout Injustice lifespan was pretty much me versus him, except except for the meet that Nerd Otaku had at Alimame Park. That one was him versus somebody else because I wasn't at that one. Actually, I didn't go,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure I'd have done pretty well. So if I went, I didn't go to Alimame Park. That's the only tournament I can say I wasn't there in Injustice. But pretty much the rest of the competitive lifespan for that game in this country was pretty me against Morele. Uh, Fortunately, at that time, Injustice coexisted with MK9,
Okay.
although I played more casually MK9 then. So I wasn't very big into it, but I did like it. That's where my love for Sub-Zero really,
I'm
really
actually
shined.
glad you brought that up. That's my next question.
Oh, the Grandmaster thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it started. That's where it started. I was a Sub-Zero main through and through.
So the name Best Sub-Zero in Africa, is this like the genesis story of it? Is this where it started from?
I um The whole Grandmaster thing was mostly because of MKX, I would say, because I came from MK9 playing Sub-Zero, and I played Sub-Zero throughout MKX's lifespan. He was always my main character, even though I picked up some other characters on the way. But uh, I was pretty much Sub-Zero main through and through, and I would play all sorts of matchups, even the ones that were bad for him, and I would win. So it just kind of stuck that he's a grandmaster, because especially the fact that Sub-Zero had a variation called the Grandmaster
Yeah, yeah.
actually helped. So since then, I've just been known as that. People fuse them together sometimes. Some people say Grandmaster Cortex, it's the Grandmaster Cortex.
Grandmaster Cortex has a nice
Variations.
ring to it.
It does a
Yeah, it does.
thing. So yeah, that's pretty much where I started from and going into where I am now. But to answer your other question, my favorite MK, I would have to say MK11. Honestly, I have mixed feelings about the game sometimes, but I feel it's their best work to date.
Okay.
The only thing it may be lacking is it's a bit the depth isn't as much as
The
other
previous
fighting
ones.
games. Not even the previous ones. MKX was like crazy. Those random things happening. They had armored launchers, which was a very terrible mechanic. But I mean, in terms of depth, like when we talk depth, we look at longevity of a game, meaning how many things you can, how many things left to discover in a game, how many things you can continue to implement, certain ways you can play characters, certain ways you can implement different tools to keep the game going forward. It doesn't
To
have
keep it
that.
interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. It's a bit just straightforward. These are the tools, play, but it does have kind of it kind of allows you to play neutral. It's just kind of like chess, back and forth, your turn, my turn. Although online and sometimes offline, there's some people that can just, some things get random. But if you're a good player, it really shouldn't affect you too much. That's why I feel it's their best game, because it embodies what they've wanted to do with the fighting game, and I feel they'll make it better. They'll only make it better going forward. So we're still here for it. That's why I say it's my favorite game. Unfortunately, they didn't make Sub-Zero as good as I would want him to be, or they didn't make him a character I would play. So luckily, I already secured the Grandmaster title because I will not be playing Sub-Zero in MK11.
Do you enjoy playing MK11 with your teammates?
Yeah, I do. I do enjoy playing MK11 with my teammates a lot. Even outside my teammates, honestly, it's actually a very fun game. It's always nice to see the things people come up with, learn matchups with your friends. Pick up new characters. Even tournaments, like if everyone was having like a downtime on MK11, just the tournament that was there this past weekend has probably rekindled a lot of people's love for the game. Well, esports have gotten big, so our friends in the West have these opportunities where they have sponsored events by the developers of the game.
Yeah, they have the tournaments
Yeah,
where
it's like it's a world tour. You make points and then you qualify for the finals at the end of the year, and then you play in those finals for like a big prize pool. So the finals was last year because next month should be the anniversary of the game. So it's been almost a year since it's been out. So yeah, those the finals last week, and there was some very insane gameplay. People showed different new ways to play the game. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be going back to practice mode to see what they can
do.
Yeah, get better, try to emulate some of the things these top players were doing. So we'll be seeing a lot of fresh blood and better players.
What about locally? What would you like to see going forward in the competitive fighting game scene? You mentioned what happens in the West, but here,
Locally,
what would you like to see?
I'd like to see, first of all, more tournaments and more people. Obviously, the opportunity for tournaments, there's a lot of people lingering around in the background. We don't know what people are planning to do. We don't know what investment vehicle they're trying to get into. So the best we can do is support the scene. If there's a lot of players, just show yourselves that you're there. When there's a tournament, go to the tournaments, play. It doesn't matter. I see a lot of people think too much about, I'm going to pay this much to enter a tournament and then I might not even win the money. It shouldn't be like that, because you go to a tournament to have fun, right?
You can still go there.
Yeah, you enter the game, you play the game, you have fun. Win or lose, it just shows you what you need to get better at. Don't think too much about the money you're losing, because it's not gambling. Just go there to play the game, meet the community, know what you need to work on, and come back next time.
Are there any games or tournaments you're looking forward to get into this year? Maybe perhaps next year? Are there any games or tournaments that you are looking to get into?
Actually, we have been meaning to try Grand Blue. It's a new fighting game.
Could you tell us about it?
Oh, I can't say much because I haven't even gotten down to watching tournaments for it and stuff. It's a new fighting game that's come out. It's kind of arc system based. Anime fighters always have they have a whole different way of playing. So I would really have to have knowledge about it to talk about it here, because I know it has different kinds of mechanics on its own. But I've been looking into that one. People say it's pretty fun. The only thing I don't really enjoy much about such games in this scene is, one, the netcode for anime fighters is very bad, first of all, which means interaction is limited to the few of you that have it, and not a lot of people tend to get into those games. So, which is why, in terms of fighting games in Africa, Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm games are the biggest, because the netcode is very good. So we play with people from South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, pretty much the whole sub-Saharan Africa. We're all like friends in the group, so that game has brought us together like that. Unlike the other scenes like Tekken or Street Fighter, netcode is so terrible you can only play with like people really close to you or like in your neighborhood, same
Very close
country.
proximity.
Yeah. It gets really bad even for tournaments. Online tournaments can be held because it's online, people lagging, all that stuff. So the communities are kind of divided like that because of the netcode.
It takes 2 seconds for somebody to realize that they've been killed.
Yeah, because like if it's not, especially Street Fighter, it has kind of a weird thing it does where some things register later. So,
Yeah. What have been the highlights of your career so far? Do you care to share any with us?
yeah, for highlights of my career, first of all,
It sounds like you have a handful. First of all,
no, I actually keep them now, and you'll be surprised. It's not even like tournament wins or
it's good to
anything.
keep track.
Yeah, my highlights, first of all, is one. I like, I've always seen myself as not a character loyalist, more like a character specialist, because character loyalist
Like
only.
what you did with Sub-Zero.
Yes, I did the same with Batman. So in Justice 1, I was the best Batman in Zambia, so I really enjoyed
So you
that
have
title.
2 labels to your name.
And 2, I was the best Sub-Zero, MKX. I really enjoyed that. And then I'm going to go down to tournament now. That was the biggest tournament for MKX. I actually won that one. It was held at Arcades. It actually had some sponsors for it. There was Huawei. Although that's another thing we might need to address. Like people need to uh, um, go through with their word, because that tournament, even though they kept their word with the money and were paid, we were told there was sponsors for the tournament and first place would get money and a Huawei sponsored phone. We didn't see any of that. And this was after we had entered the tournament and everything. So I feel like the scene isn't taken so seriously that people don't treat these things like they're actual contractual relationships. Because when you post something on social media and people pay to enter for what they have seen, you've essentially entered the contract. So if you don't perform to the full abilities of what you stated, you're kind of breaching that contract. And I feel like because esports isn't that big, especially here, people can just play around with, what they
Companies
say.
see that they're not
Yeah,
obliged to fulfill
yeah,
their.
because there's tournaments, they tell you there's a 1,000 kwacha prize pool. First place is going to get 500, second place 300, third place 200. And then they find out that only 8 people entered the tournament. So maybe there was 100 kwacha entry fee. So they only made 800 kwacha of entry fee. Then they decide we can't afford. So now we're not going to
Decide to
pay.
pull back.
Yeah, which shouldn't be that way, because if you advertise something, you're supposed to have the capacity to pay, not
Not based on how many people
yes, because
enter.
there's tournaments that are like that. So you need to be able to tell the people this is a pot bonus. Pot bonus means basically what people put in is what's going to be added to the
Shared.
prize pool. Yeah, so they can decide whether they have money they want to put on top of the pot, or it's going to be just the pot itself distributed amongst 3 or 4 of the winners.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. So anyway, that's the tournament I won. Arcades. I've been forgotten. No, it was plugged. I think it might have been plugged.
How many years was that ago?
That was 14 or 15. I had the memory on Facebook. I would share it every year.
Oh my.
because, but now, like, things go by and you forget and whatever. But yeah, that was one of my biggest highlights, mostly because of the people I faced. I was seeing one of the biggest things about fighting games is overcoming your tournament demons. And Justin, everyone knows Justin. He's like a big name in Africa. He's pretty much everyone's tournament demon. He's the hardest person to beat in these tournaments. So everyone that has a win over him, like, you can really boast that.
It's quite triumphant.
Yeah, And not only did I beat him, I kind of like beat him mentally as well, which is hard to do because Justin picks a game plan and he sticks to it. And I managed to do that to the point where he decided to mirror match me with my own character.
Him.
Yeah, he tried to mirror match me with my own character, and I knew certain
things. Which character were you using?
Sub-Zero.
Oh my.
Yeah, so he tried to
Bad
grandmaster the grandmaster, and I knew certain things about the character that
he might not have known.
Yeah, because you can be good enough to play any character. That's one of the things a very solid player or pro player should be able to do, is play most of the cast at a somewhat decent level, because obviously you practice them to know matchups and stuff, how they work. So he tried to pick Sub-Zero against me to try and do to me what I was doing to him. But I knew the way the character works, because he would do things like an unsafe string into the clone, and I know that Sub-Zero can punish that with his slide. But when I do it, I'll do it in a way that's safe. Oh yeah, I'll do it in a way that's safe. So when he tries to punish it the way I was doing it, it wouldn't work for him. Yeah. So that was very big for me. And then Injustice also, I had a few. I got second place most of the time, but I pretty much established that I was one of the best, because especially because the last big tournament for Injustice was kind of, I won't say rigged, but they wanted viewers, so they put me against Mulele in the second match. They kind of changed the bracket to make me fight him early, so people could watch a good match and be hooked onto the game.
And keep the crowds.
Yeah, so I lost really early in that one. So like the whole day I was fighting from the bottom until the following day. Yeah, because I was playing matches until the evening. That's when I fought the winners finals, and I played Rex. I beat him. I played Deathstroke because Batman against Aquaman was a bad matchup.
Must have been exhausting, though.
It was. But luckily the following day was only that one match, me against Morelli, and we decided we're just going to fool around, play random characters. Yeah, he still won, but it was kind of an achievement for me to come all the way. It was like something to prove coming from the bottom.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So going forward, I think those are my biggest achievements. Going forward, I've had some, stellar results, pretty consistent top threes.
What goals or targets have you set
for myself this year?
Yeah.
First of all, I was we had season 1 for ACGO last year. I was hopefully, if they do the same season 1 format, my first goal is to qualify into the top 4. Because last year they had season 1, you would play for points, the top 4 qualify, and then they'll have a paid trip to South Africa with accommodation and everything. And then the other 4 players will play in the last chance tournament to make the final top 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they do that, pretty much the tournament will be a top 8 after that. So I just want to make top 4 so I can go to South Africa, because I really want to meet the guys,
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, we always talk about it, like you guys should come, this place is pretty cool, all that stuff. So prime goal is to qualify. Also because, not only because of the benefits qualifying comes with, because it will show progress. I already made progress because I wasn't able to make top 8 in season 1, but I made top 8 in season 2. I got 5th place. And
congratulations.
Thank you. I feel I could have done better, but circumstances, my internet actually tripped, so I ended up throwing one match because those were the rules apparently. So, yeah, hopefully stable connection and practice are going to save me in the next one.
Okay. Any suggestions for AI gaming or things you would like to see in the near future?
Yeah, because like I said, we need more people participating in the scene, but obviously we can't just be signing anyone.
Sure.
Yeah, so part of being an organization trying to push in esports in Zambia, it also means you have to be a participant and you have to be a driving force for it. So I'd like to see us promoting these, upcoming players. I actually wanted to do a tournament to keep these people interested, because we can see it even with us who play like at somewhat of a higher level than them, that people really,
You're interested.
yeah, and sometimes the interest goes down because there's not much happening. So now imagine us who have these opportunities to make the top eight in ACG or whatever. If our interest is going down because nothing much is happening, imagine the people that don't even get the opportunities to qualify.
Yeah.
So like if you're cultivating, if you're motivating those players there to keep doing this and hosting like a tournament or two for them to attend, win some small money, win some merch or something, it's going to drive them to keep doing this, because like I said, a lot of these guys are really young. So even if the tournament had like a 500 kwacha prize pool for the top three players, 16-year-old kid leaves home with 30 kwacha, enters the tournament, comes back with 200 kwacha. It's a win. It's a big win. Yeah. So stuff like that is going to drive them. And before they know it, they'll be getting better and better and better. And then they'll be playing in the ACGLs and they'll be, maybe even knocking me out. I doubt though. Because like obviously I also practice hard for this stuff, you know. So they're gonna have to play very hard to try and shake me in a tournament.
How often
But
do you
yeah,
practice?
okay. So I don't have a set practice schedule. It's just every time I get on, there's just certain things that I want to do, and immediately I'm done with that, I'm off the game. You know, because I don't, like I said, MK11 isn't really, there's very few things you can play around with.
Yeah.
So it's best to tackle one thing at a time. If you're having a problem with people jumping at you, go into practice, figure out how you can get around certain jumps, how you can play at a range where you want them to jump. That's more favorable for you. And I've been doing that a lot, and I've gotten better at dealing with it. So that's one thing down. There was a time I wanted to learn first blocking, so I got into practice for 2 days. I would spend maybe 2 hours in the practice mode, learn how to first block the jump ins, learn how to first block certain things to certain strings so I can, counter opponents better. So I would say I'm never on for more than an hour, 30 minutes, because unless I'm playing games like with Killjoy, would play like
I
2
wonder what
hours.
that's like. Oh my goodness.
It's actually crazy. Those are very sweaty games.
I can imagine.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating. The conversations after are the ones that are the best, though, because like when you look at our DMs after we play, because now stickers are the new meta, so everyone's sending a sad Pepe the Frog sticker. So like you got beat, and then you just go into his DMs, send a sticker, then he sends one back, and they're like, "Dude, you need to stop being a tryhard, man." And it's like I got mobbed, and just those conversations are fun because it's like friendly competition.
Yeah.
What I don't like is people that are salty, because as much as you want to win, as much as
But that can't take a lose.
yeah, it's very annoying because people start playing scrubby, people start counter picking you, start doing like random things just because you beat them. I don't really like that. And the problem with that is because the way I am is I can't quit on you when you're doing that because you try to spin it on me that I'm being salty because I lost,
Yeah.
So I have to like weather the storm until something comes up and I say, hey man, good games, I need to go. And then that's it. So to avoid those situations, I just have like few players that I play with. And then some of them will play a set or two here and there, meet them in ranked sets. That's pretty much it,
You mentioned it would be good for AI to have when they're able to hold regular tournaments, just to keep on have
Well,
the
I
same
wouldn't say regular,
interest.
just, once in a while. Because
Okay.
our introduction at LS Kono is very good.
Okay.
So, like, if you do one of those and then you keep riding that wave, it kind of keeps people interested for what's next, even if
Yeah.
it's not from AI gaming.
Okay. Are there any notable young players you've seen that you would like to make mention of by name?
Yeah. I'll have to start with the first two. I'd say is Justin's boys. I don't know. They're from is it Garden or Matera? I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Fox and Chema Boy, these kids are very solid at the game. And I feel like if they played more with stronger opponents and if they were more in tune with the neutral of the game, learned things like frame data, they would be very, very, very strong. So I don't know. I don't know where they're at, where they are now in terms of skill. If they've only gotten better from last time, that would be very good to see. But those two guys are very, very strong, and I'd like to see them in tournament again. And the other ones aren't per se young players because we're kind of like age mates. It's just that they don't play or are not as strong as I am now, even though they do have the potential to get better. I'd say I have a friend Sundo, who goes by Speeding Shadow. He was playing Jade at Rushdown, very strong. Who else? What's his name? Granddad. His name is Gift. He actually eliminated me. He threw me into losers at Rushdown also. He plays Shang Tsung and Cabal. He's very strong also. So, you know, we need to see those guys like keep getting better because the more competition there is, the more these tournaments are. Because no one likes every tournament you go to. It's just me, Justin,
It's always the
Killjoy.
same
Yeah,
people.
yeah. You need someone to shake the bracket, and that's why LSCon was hyped because it sucks that my teammate Killjoy lost, but the fact that that kid coming out of nowhere was the one to eliminate him
And
was
nobody saw that coming.
yeah, because when you're looking at the bracket, you're looking at the strongest people. Like when Killjoy goes into a bracket, he's saying, "I have to look out for Law, Mochi, Justin." You're not looking at the other names in the bracket
No.
because you don't know who they are. So to find that they're actually good is kind
Yeah.
of, So we need everyone to be a named fear in the bracket, and it starts by just having events for these people to want to be motivated to go to, so they'll know who to practice for and how to practice for them, so that it's not free when we go there.
So more interaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say to your supporters, your fans hearing you out there? Any last words?
I just like to say, thanks for the support. Obviously, it's very motivating. LSCon was a very big tournament for me because, like I said, I didn't win, but people wouldn't stop talking about how well I played, and same thing happened at the gem tournament that they held that was sponsored by Betway. I put on a very good show for the people, and I get a lot of people. Some of the kids I talked about just now came up to me. They were shaking my hand, asking me what my PSN is so they can get some games. It was really nice to see. So thanks for the support. Um, Obviously, they also want to get better at the game. So if they want to play games, I really don't mind playing with them. I really don't mind showing them some of the things I do, how I practice, how I think going into a match, and things like that. Speaking of like going into a match is something someone asked me about just now. It was about like player types, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, uh, I heard Killjoy also talked about it. Something called there's a player actually. I think his name is his gamer tag is Laugh something. It's called Laugh's Theory. Anyway, there's a video on YouTube by Core Gaming. It talks about the three types of fighting gamers, right? So there's the heart-based fighting gamers, there's the mind, and there's the body, right? So this obviously you don't have to be one, yeah, you don't have to be all three, you don't have to be one specifically, but you primarily there's one that's more dominant than all the others.
Yeah.
And knowing these can actually kind of help you prepare for certain opponents, right?
Which one do you think you are? Which one do you think you display more dominantly than the other two?
Okay, so before I answer that, I'd like to explain what they are first. So say a heart-based player is someone who relies like on reads and feel, right? So they just feel you're going to do something, and they're going to like immediately try to counter it.
React.
Yeah. And then mind are probably the other guys that practice things. They know a lot about the mechanics of the game, and they go into it. They more like by the book, right? They have a counter for this, and then they stick to that when they go in the match because they've labbed it, they've taken it to practice mode, they know how to beat it, all that stuff. Those are mind based. And then last one was body. Body is actually the reaction. So heart is based on just feel and reads. Body is based on reactions. So these guys actually have the crazy execution. They can hit any combo, they don't miss. You try to test their reactions by throwing out a fireball, they're going to react, they'll punish you for it. So those are the three types. I would say I'm more mind and heart, because mind first, because I like to study fundamentals. When we're at a certain range, I'll think, okay, these are the options this guy has. This is what I have to counter it, and I'm going to stick to that. And then I'll try to. Sometimes I'll just go on a whim and just do something because I feel that's what you're going to do. And sometimes I'm right, because obviously hard-paced players, it comes from somewhere,
Yeah.
and they're almost always right because they just know, based on the situation, that this is what this guy wants to do, and it usually works. And then I'd say Justin is more body, because Justin, first of all, he doesn't drop his combos. His execution is very good. He has very good reactions. He has very good awareness in situations. You think he's going to respect this, and then and then you just get blown up for it. You can't really condition him. He always wants to be in a situation that's favorable for him. So I guess he's a very reactionary like that. And I would say Killjoy is mostly a heart player because he lives and dies by the reads. He's the type of guy that you haven't thrown him once in a set, and the one time you do it, he's still ducking. You've been hitting him with mids the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's about to die, and then you go, okay, he's been blocked, I've been hitting with all the mids, I'm going to try to throw him now. He's just going to duck the throw and kill you for it. So I feel he lives and dies by the reads, and because he's very good at it, he makes so many correct reads that it outweighs the ones that he gets wrong. So it ultimately wins his matches for him like that. Yeah. So I guess knowing what type you are is a very big help, because you know what you need to work on, because some of them come with weaknesses, obviously, because say mind players like me, we're going to stick to one option and say I'm going to counter it with this if he does it. But if he doesn't do it, I'm like,
screwed.
Yeah, I'm screwed, because then I'm waiting for that one thing and it's not coming. Yeah. So everyone needs to know what type they are, incorporate some other things they need to add on, take out some weaknesses in their gameplay and all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome. I'm sure everybody out there has appreciated your tips and insight. Thank you so much
Thanks for
coming
having
through
me.
for our interview. We hope to have you back soon.
I'll be glad to do another one.
So lastly, anybody you want to send a shout out to?
The biggest person I want to send a shout out to is Mr. Makasa, also known as Cypher, Eternal Cypher. Alien Minds on YouTube, Alien Minds on Facebook. That's the channel. He streams, and the biggest thing is he streams our tournaments, and he commentates them as well with me sometimes. He's done so much for us. Most importantly, he does this for free because he just loves to support the scene. So he comes with his equipment. He uses his time, his gas to come and help us out, to put our scene out there, and it's really kind of him. We can't thank him enough for that, which is why I try my best also to help him, push the community by supporting him and doing commentary for these events. In tournaments, even when I'm playing, I do commentary for matches that I'm not playing, because we need someone to. A commentator's job is to sell the gameplay and
Yes.
sell the players, and I feel I'm really good at that because I'm in tune with the scene. I know the players, I know the game also, so I know like the mind games, what they're trying to do. So we need someone on commentary to kind of showcase that to the viewers, and uh, you know, I would like to continue doing that for our scene.
Have you created any content yourself?
Yeah, actually, I have a channel, AI Cortex on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, please subscribe, like the videos. I do streams mostly, but I did try posting some videos. It's just that time to edit and do the whole content creation thing. It's kind of hard. I'm still learning. Black Wolf, shout out to him also. He's one of the best content creators in the country. He's really taught himself video editing and whatever. He's the one that showed me the application he uses. And for the first few videos that I did for myself, I used the application he suggested to me. But for my content, it's mostly streams on the channel. I stream like if there's a first to 10 between two players happening, just to get our scene out there. I stream those. I stream my gameplay. Not always MK. I stream some Street Fighter. I stream some Apex Legends also. I streamed Titanfall because we played it for like a week with the guys. So yeah, feel free to check it out. I try to stream 720, so you don't have to squint to see what's happening. But these days, internet isn't that good. Even high, honestly, it's kind of hard to play and stream. So I haven't had a lot of streams lately, but I do, have content. Last shout out would have to be to my boy Brandon Shokan. He's arguably the best MK player we have in Africa. He's South African. Uh, he has a channel also on Twitch, Twitch TV, twitch.tv/show2702. Give him a follow, ring the bell so you get the notification when he's streaming. He also streams most of our stuff and his
That's good.
gameplay. He streams tournaments. He streams when there's ACGO going on. He streams the top eights, and then I help him on commentary with that also. So there's people out here pushing for the scene. Just that's where you need to go to find out stuff if you want to know.
So your commentary isn't just local. That's good.
No,
That's
my
very
commentary isn't
impressive.
just local. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thank you for coming through. We hope to have you back here soon.
Thank you for having me. I'll be glad to do another one.